സ്നേഹബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട വികാരിയച്ഛ, കൊച്ചച്ഛ, ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട വൈദികരെ, ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട മേരി ചേച്ചി, the beloved wife of Joy Chetan, Jomi and Jesslyn, Jassy and Jeff, ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയ സഹോദരൻ ടോമി ചേട്ട, സഹോദരിമാർ Reverend Sister Doris, Sister Jills, Mary and Roy Lakail, Lisa Chechi and Sabi Kolath. May the Para family, Rathapal family members, their grandchildren, Nina and Devon, Elizabeth, Tessa and Andrew, my dear sisters and brothers, I recall my leaving from India 9 years ago, and my mother had accompanied me to the airport. And as I was leaving, she was extremely saddened because I was leaving home. She held my hand tight and said, "You know, my brother's children are there. And your aunt is also there. So I'm sure they will help you to transition." I came in the month of September 2013. And the first person I contacted among my uncle's children were Tommy and Joy Chetan first. And of course, all the other sisters who were here. And I took a mega bus to come to Chicago City. And as I got out of the bus, Joy Chetan sees me from far. He comes and grabs my hand. It was a snowy day. It was cold. And he said, "Acho, njan Joya." He held my hand, he held my bag, and then Tommy Chetan comes and both of us goes to the car and we went home. That began a long journey. There was not even a week that he wouldn't at least text or call. And it was totally unexpected after his recovery from his accidental fall in his basement in 2019. His recovery thereafter, and then it was totally unexpected that the Lord called him last Wednesday. When I think of him, there's one thing that I can always remember. He would do anything for those whom he loved. And that's what I saw from the very first day. And he would do anything to tell the truth and make the truth heard to the community around and the people around. And he would fight for justice no matter what. He would stand for it. Even if the whole world speaks against it, he would stand alone and fight for it because he knows that is truth and he should stand for it. And he wouldn't tolerate any injustice seen, whether it be in politics or in church. He doesn't mince his words because he loved. He loved the truth and he followed the truth. I remember way back in 1988, I was attending a funeral of a missionary priest. Over 10,000 people gathered in the city of Shillong. but I was a seminarian at that time. And I remember this French missionary died, and the funeral oration was given by one of the bishops. And he said this, and I still remember so deeply within me. Death is not a sword that cuts and destroys, but is a key that opens the door to eternity. What an absolute truth. There is one truth in the world, that if we are born, we will die. We will have to leave this world, but it is not to a destruction, but it is a transition into eternity, to our eternal home in heaven. You can imagine when you go to the airport, you have the departure hall or departure area and the arrival area. There is always sadness and sorrow in the departure area because someone dear to you is leaving you. But on the other side, on the arrival hall, there is a moment of rejoicing. You can imagine, our brother Joy's journey is something like this. We are all saddened because he leaves us very unexpectedly. We are all unprepared at this time. And yet, there's rejoicing on the other side. Our Heavenly Father, our merciful Father, waiting for him with the open arms to receive him in his bosom and cover him in his mercy. As a human being, whatever human frailties have cost him in this world, the Lord in his mercy cover him in his divine mercy and heal him and receive his soul into that eternal bliss and happiness. And therefore, as we surrender Joy Chadden into the arms of our Heavenly Father's merciful arms, we are reminded of what Paul said in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 21. For me to live is Christ, and death is a gain. As I was standing outside, I asked Nina, what do you remember about your grandpa so much? And she said one thing. He was funny. And he was funny in many ways. And there was a way for him to reach out to everyone without exception and be made present before them. Very simple way, and yet he goes deep into our hearts. His memories have etched deep within our souls, our hearts. And today, as we offer this most powerful prayer, the Eucharist, in which we place the soul of our brother and commend him to the mercy of God, where we celebrate Jesus' own death and the passion, death and resurrection, that is where we place him, along with the bread and wine we offer today. That just as the Lord transformed the bread into his precious body and blood, may the soul of our brother Joy be transformed into the likeness of our Heavenly Father and received into his mercy. I conclude with a quotation from the book of Lamentation, chapter 3, verse 22 and 23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end, and they are new every morning. God's love is new every morning. And that is in this new love that he promises today that we place him for his eternal rest and peace. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. I want you to take a moment. We believe in the communion of saints. Just take a moment. Since Joy Chaitan departed from us unexpectedly, there may be something that you wanted to tell him for the last time. Maybe thank you, maybe sorry, or I love you. Whatever that is, take a moment to tell him this last time.